Today we're diving into The Bad Batch Season 3, Episode 8, Bad Territory, which was probably my least favorite episode of the season so far. It's got some fun locations, cool action, and a really nice character moment between Crosshair and Omega, but none of the arcs felt like they came to a satisfying conclusion. Instead, it all mostly felt like setup for some admittedly exciting things to come. On Pabu, Hunter and the others are following up on Rex's suggestion that they find out why the Empire is so desperate to get Omega back. What do Hemlock's M-count experiments mean? Omega has to lay low until they know more, and she's not taking that well. She's antsy to do something active to help, and it's hard for her to accept that the best thing she can do is remain hidden, which I totally understand. I hate sitting still. Fee finds out the Empire has been sending Class 1 bounty hunters after M-count targets. Hoping to find out more, Hunter and Wrecker seek out a bounty hunter, Fennec Shand. Omega isn't happy about being left behind, but Hunter gives her the mission of helping Crosshair with his hand trimmers. Fennec is found in a shady cantina on a really cool-looking space station that's got some really great music playing. I've been loving all the in-universe diegetic Star Wars music that's popped up recently. Star Wars Jedi Survivor has a ton of great stuff in its soundtrack, and Ahsoka had that punk rock song during Sabine's speeder bike ride. I would love a collection of the Star Wars Galaxy's greatest hits someday. With the return of a character from The Mandalorian, this episode of The Bad Batch basically turns into an episode of The Mandalorian. Hunter and Wrecker need information. Fennec Shand will get them in contact with someone who can help them if they do a favor for her. The three of them head off to capture Siler Saris, the slayer of Ordo Eris. Apparently, he killed some of the leaders of the Haxian Brood, which was a criminal syndicate from Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor. Ordo Eris was their base seen in Fallen Order, so the slayer of Ordo Eris is a fitting name for this Siler guy. Back on Pabu, AZ takes a look at Crosshair's hand and doesn't find anything he can physically heal. The droid asks to know more about what happened to him on Tantus, but Crosshair storms off. So maybe there is hope for him to get back to 100%. I've been enjoying the story of him being forced to create a new path for himself while more and more of his old identity slips away, but clearly he's got a lot of trauma to work through. The past few episodes keep bringing up the fact that he knows more than he's telling everyone. Maybe working through the trauma will help his hand. Maybe it won't. Either way, it should help him regain some sense of peace. Hunter, Wrecker, and Fennec travel to planet New Orleans, where they basically land on an oil rig and then take a pontoon boat down a river full of space gators. I like the location, the creature design, and the whole aesthetic. I do think it's intentional that in the build-up to the gator attack, we have Hunter and Wrecker having to take their time and act very slow and deliberately to disarm a bunch of mines. Because back on Pabu again, Crosshair also gets a lesson in calming things down. My favorite scene of the episode was Omega teaching him how to meditate. It's beautifully lit, slow, sweet, and emotional. Even Batcher is just chilling. I love that this is something Omega needs too, even if she doesn't realize it. She is focusing on helping Crosshair, but she is also anxious to be active. She is struggling to sit still when there are other people she wants to help, but sometimes the right thing to do is slow down and breathe. When it comes to Crosshair, I think it's worth noting that there are 3 separate times he questions Omega or his brothers about the past. He doesn't know who Fee or Fennec are, he is surprised to hear Omega went to Kashyyyk, and she points out that he has missed a lot. Certainly his trauma is wrapped up in what happened on Tantus, but there's probably more to work through with his family as well. Back on planet New Orleans, Fennec and her new employees share a moment where they dance around whatever is going on with Omega. Nothing is really resolved, but I liked getting more of a look at Fennec at this point in her life. She is all about the credits and scoffs when Wrecker tells her money isn't everything. Knowing where she ends up in The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett, seeing that she does start to value the idea of teamwork and community much later in life, it's just fun being able to connect the dots in her character arc. And I'll always be happy to have more Ming-Na Wen in Star Wars. She, Hunter, and Wrecker capture Saris and head back to the space station. Fennec promises to send the information she has their way and leaves, contacting some mystery character to tell them to find the clones. I have to assume that's Asajj Ventress. It's gotta be someone we know, or else why mask their face and voice? Asajj also worked as a bounty hunter during the Clone Wars, so it makes sense that she might know Fennec. This episode may have been setting up a way for Ventress to make a surprise appearance in the near future, now that we know someone is tracking the Bad Batch. If I'm right about that, my main question would be, why is she taking the Empire's M-Count bounties? She came back to the light side at the end of the book Dark Disciples, so it would be strange to have her hunting Jedi or other Force users. Well, we don't know that she is. She might just know about the bounties. My hope is that she will appear alongside Quinlan Vos. We still don't know how she comes back to life after the events of Dark Disciple, but skipping all of that, I think it would be cool if she finds Quinlan, and then together they work to save Force users being targeted by the Empire, maybe taking them to the hidden path. We know Quinlan worked with them thanks to the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. The path was also in Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and the Bad Batch has made several connections to that video game series. That's my hope anyway. I'm anxious to find out soon, but for now I'll just sit patiently and breathe. Let me know what you thought of Bad Territory in the comments. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on our socials, and consider checking out our Patreon page for our video reactions and audio commentaries for every episode as they release. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.